Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Sorry, Wesley's just like bringing his toy to play fetch. But as you can see from today's title, I'm going to talk about squat form, tips, cues, and the importance of a good warm-up and how doing a warm-up and cool down and just some stretches can really help with your mobility. So I've actually just done a 5-minute sort of starting the warm-up on the stairmaster just behind us there, just a really steady pace, just to get the blood flowing, and then I'm going to talk you through the dynamic stretches that I do at the start. So for any warm-up, I'll do 5-10 minutes on either the stairmaster or just walking on the treadmill or the bike, just something really steady state, like I say, to get the blood flowing, depending on how cold it is. It's not too bad this morning. I've actually just took my coat off. It is obviously starting to get cold, so just a bit of time to really, as I say, get that blood flowing and warm up a little bit. And the importance of a good warm up is essential, as I say, and then I'll go in go into some dynamic stretches. So by dynamic stretches, for those that don't know, is basically, sorry, I'm just like playing fetch here. Dog mom life. Those that don't know, dynamic stretches are basically moving, active stretches. You're not staying static in one position. Sorry, I was just laughing that I'm playing fetch. So yeah, just to get the body moving, it is better to do dynamic stretching before your workout begins, and then static at the end. And then on a rest day, as part of an active rest day, you could do a mixture of both, just to really help, you know, with your recovery. And as I say, just to help with mobility in the future, really helps with your range of motion. So that's one of the reasons why it's really important to do a good warm-up. It can really affect your session. You can have a much better session by doing a sufficient warm-up. It doesn't need to be really, really long, you know, even like 10 to 15 minutes max would be more than enough. Get that blood flowing to the muscles, helps prevent injury, can help with your range of motion, loosen off. If you're not warming up, you're putting yourself at higher risk of getting injured, which would then put your training back and can stop you making good progress. And similar with your range of motion, it's really important that you get a nice full range of motion that allow you to lift heavier. So it is really important to do that. So I'm going to be starting with squats today. I'm currently doing a full body training split, and I'm starting with squats. They are my focus for this month, so they are my first lift on every session, with different rep ranges. Today's are quite heavy. I am due on, so I'm not going mega heavy, but I will still be going at a reasonable weight. Just gonna gauge how I'm feeling. I'm feeling very bloated this morning. Water retention is at its peak, as I say, due on like the back end of this week, so I'm feeling it a bit this morning. But yeah, I'll talk you through my dynamic workout now. Dynamic warm-up to do the stretches, and then I will show you the squat setup and some tips for form and stuff like that too. Now he's finally decided to stop bringing his toy over and he played with Fish. He's got his little Halloween jumper on. Say hi, babes. I feel like I want to be right in the shot, so I'm really far away. But I'm going to show you. I will start with some leg swings just to open up my hips. I'll show you here because I'm going to hold on to this. It's still equipment now because I've just had clients in this morning. No, John. So you're going to hold on to something, swing back forward, make sure there's nothing behind you. For me, that tends to be my dog. So just make sure that you're not going to kick anything behind. Get your leg up as high as you can. Squeeze back. Open up those hips, and then same on the other side. And then I'll do them sort of out to the side as well. So again, nice big range of motion. Your range of motion might not be very big to start with, just while the muscles are warmed up still. Might be able to get a bit further as I do a few more reps. So I just tend to do about 10-ish reps on each leg, each side. I'm not really counting very well because I'm trying to talk out, but just to give you an idea, I only do one set of everything. What's that, 10? And then what I'll do is I'll go into a body weight good morning. So you want your feet back hip width apart. Sorry, Wesley's just really dying to continue playing fetch. You want a nice soft knee, so if you're going to do it straight like deadlift, you're going to push your bum back, get your back nice and flat, and up. So you can squeeze the glutes up at the top as well. Just make sure that you're not hyperextending back, so you're not going back like that to squeeze in. You're going to squeeze in like that. Get your pelvic tilt right. Story of my life, just training and playing fetch in between. Never known a dog like fetch so much. So yeah, so you're really focusing on pushing your hips back. It's going to lengthen your hamstrings. Also got your glutes activated. So again, do something from 10 to 15 reps on that. And then we're going to go into just a simple bodyweight squat. So again, feet hip width apart, neutral toes facing forward, and a squat, stand up. Sorry, I just fell over there. So, just a simple squat. Don't have to worry about going too deep. Again, you can squeeze up at the top if you want, but you're not hyperextending back. So if you squeeze up, you can squeeze like that. You don't want to be coming back like that, like really bending your back, putting too much pressure on your back, which is not what we want. So squatting down, make sure your knees come out. Again, part of doing sort of most exercises that you're going to do, doing a bodyweight version as part of the warm-up will really help you to get used to the movement patterns, warms those muscles up that you're going to be working. So then sometimes I'll add in a little pulse, stand up. Again, it's just working and warming up the same muscles that we're going to be using. And then I'll come down into a nice deep squat. Just want to make sure that this is definitely right on the... Oh yeah, you can see there. I'm just checking that it's on the camera. So then from here, I'd come down into a nice deep squat. So you might want to turn your toes out slightly here. Knees are going out. Then I put your elbows, I always get that mixed up, elbows inside your knee. Hopefully you're not getting absolutely attacked by a dash hand. And then you're just going to really gently push your knees outwards. Again, just sort of 10 to 15 reps. Just really helps to open up the hips. And then once you've done that, you sit down on the floor and do a hip flexor stretch. So, hands behind you to support you. You've got to move your knees from side to side. So it's going to open up your hips. Trying to get round as far as you can, getting those knees back to the floor. So we're going to go into a plank position from there. So push up, and then you're going to bring one knee forward, keep this hand flat. You're going to rotate around. Just pause there for a second, come back, and back to the plank. And then you're going to bring the other knee forward, again keeping that hand flat. Twist around, put that hand flat again, and step back. So you're just going to do this a few times. Obviously minus the fetch. This is going to really open up your hips. Then from there, you're going to come back up on your knees. You're going to put one leg forward to your kneeling position, so you've got bent leg on this knee, and then you're going to slowly push forwards and backwards. So you should feel a stretch in your quad, your hip flexor here. Just slowly forwards and backwards. With all of these dynamic stretches, you just want to be doing it nice and gently. You're not trying to like exhaust yourself here, you're just warming up. And then same on the other side. So push forwards, back. and then back on your knees. You're going to have your feet together, knees about hip width apart. You put your hands on the floor, and then you're going to do quad rockers. So from the downward dog position, so you're going to stretch right out. So you might want your knees a little bit wider than hip width apart, whatever's comfortable for you. You're going to come from here and push your hips forwards. So go back and forwards. So push those hips. You've got a nice flat back here, and then push right back. Again, it's going to help open up your hips. That's usually around it for that. Sometimes do a dynamic hamstring stretch as well, which I'll quickly show you. So from this position, so as if you're going to do a static hamstring stretch, you want this foot flat, knee slightly bent, this foot forward on your heel. You're going to swoop down, stretch right up, and then swap over your feet. So you're going to just keep doing that. Again, you can increase with your range of motion. On this one, that's another good, really dynamic stretch for your lower body as part of a warm-up. So as I said, I'll either do somewhere between 10 and 15 reps on each leg or 30 seconds each. It's normally sufficient, just one round through. You don't necessarily have to do it in that order, just whatever flows right for you. Just as I say, to warm up those muscles, like stretch them off. You don't want to be overdoing it. You're not trying to exhaust yourself, as I said, or like, you know, take it too far. It's literally just to get the blood pumping to those muscles. And then we're going to start with some squat warm-up sets, which I'll show you now. So I've set the barbell up. Sometimes I'll do a warm-up set with just the barbell. I've just put some 5s on just to help with demonstrating, but this will be part of my warm-up set. So because I'm doing 3 sets of 5 reps, I'm going to be building up the weight as I go up. I'll be bringing the rep range down and the weight to go up. Again, not doing too many warm-up sets. I don't want to be too exhausted. I'll normally do about 8 to 10 reps at this weight. I'll go up at about 10 kg, do about 6 to 8, and then I'll go up to my working weight. So I've done a couple of warm-up sets, not to be too exhausted. So you want to set the barbell at about shoulder height, which I'll show you. So round about here. Again, this is a good thing before you put any plates on. You can see that's like just below my shoulders. Before you put any plates on, making sure that you can lift the barbell off okay. Also, if you feel better for it, having it inside of the cage, so you'll be squatting inside here, and then you have the support of the safety bars as well. So if you were going to fail and you didn't feel comfortable enough taking it off your shoulders, then you've got the support of that. But like I say, yeah, just try what works for you, and making sure that you can take the barbell off at shoulder height, and then you're going to put the plates on. You're going to make sure they're right to the end, and then secure them with the safety clips, to make sure the plates aren't going to fall off and hurt yourself or anyone else around you. So a couple of things before we start. Making sure that you lift the barbell off the rack with intent. Like, it really does help with your lift. It helps get you in the right frame of mind. Like walking over at the barbell, it seems so dramatic and silly in a way, but once you start doing it and get used to it, you will notice such a difference. Like going up to the bar and actually being ready to take a deep breath in, lift it off the rack, and then take a deep breath out. And that leads us on to the next point, which is your breathing. I will talk you through it. I'm going to move the camera and do a few squats from different angles. So I'll do this side first, and then I'll show you from another angle. But as I say, just being really mindful of your breathing and taking a deep breath before you go. Hold that, brace your core, and then move down, back up, and then let the breath out, and then take another breath in. That really changed the game for my squats, for my, not necessarily my mobility and my depth and stuff, my range of motion, but just for really pushing up that weight. One thing for me, if you really want to improve on your mobility, is just strip it back, start really light, as I say, build it up like what I'm doing in these warm-up sets, and don't go past a weight where your form's suffering. Stick at that weight for a little while, and then slowly start to build it up, work across different rep ranges. I found that's something that has really helped me, helps my clients. So yeah, I'll show you my first warm-up set. So walking over at the bar, getting ready to lift it off with intent. So you want your hands just about a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. You're going to go under, Get it in position, deep breath in, lift off and unload, and then you're going to get into position. So whatever stance you have on with your feet, deep breath in, and we're going to move down. And then simply put the barbell back at the rack. What I always say is just like walk over to eat, whether you're in or out of the cage, walk over, so hit the cage and then let it drop down onto the I don't know what it's called, onto the, onto the rack basically, so that you know that it's safe. So just did 8 reps there as I say, as a first warm-up set. I'm going to increase the weight a little bit, decrease the reps down to 6 I think, before I move on to my working set. So I try and go down nice and deep, and whilst I don't need to hold my breath on the warm-up set, it just gets my body into the rhythm of things. Don't necessarily need to brace as much, it's not very heavy, but as I say, it just gets you in to the swing of things. I'm so sorry about the lighting here, it's like literally shining right down on my face. It's really not doing us any favours, but here we are. Putting on the plates here. So again, when you're lifting them, if you're lifting them off the floor, make sure you bend down and pick those up properly, putting them right to the edge. Make sure you push that right in and then attach it with safety grip, and then same on the other side. You get someone to help you with this if you don't feel comfortable. Ask someone that works in the gym. Michelle will be more than willing to help you with this, and then I'm going to do my next warm-up set, so we'll go straight in with that. So that's a few, my dynamic warm-up done and my couple of warm-up sets. So now I'm going into my working sets. As I said, I am going heavy, but not like majorly heavy as I'm due on. I feel like my energy's lagging a little bit. So not pushing up too much from last week's workouts, because this is week 2 of this program. So I've actually got my belt on just to support us ready. So I'll show you my first working set on this one, just so you can get an idea with a bit of a heavier weight. Hard. Just took a little second there to let my breath come back. I take my belt off in my rest just to let my body breathe as it is tight and does support us. I don't necessarily say you need a lifting belt, but it can help to support you when you're going up past like 70% of your sort of 1 rep max, I would say. But yes, that is kind of pretty much it on the video. Hopefully you found that helpful. Just a few key points to summarise on. Sorry, I'm so out of breath, like literally just 5 reps, but really heavy takes it out of you. This is why I have long rests in between. Making sure that you do a full warm up before any workout really does help. Just like I say, just 5-10 minutes, get that blood flowing to the muscles, helps prevent injury and can really, optimize your session, which is, enhance your session, which is going to optimize your results ultimately in the long term. Making sure that you do a range of dynamic and static stretches at the start and end of your workout, also on rest and recovery days, doing a little bit more of that if you really want to improve your range of motion in any lift. And then with your squats, lifting the bar with intent, focusing on your breathing, can really help. And if you're struggling with form, just strip that weight right back. And similar with mobility, if you're struggling with mobility, strip that weight right back and slowly start to build it up without compromising on your form. So yeah, let me know if you found this one helpful. Any other form tips that you'd like us to go over, or any questions on this, pop them below, and I'll see you on the next one.